following examples come from Lesson 3.1, Measures of Center. Example 1. Compute the mean and the median for the following set of numbers. Alright, we will pull up an Excel spreadsheet and I will show you how to find the mean and the median in Excel. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is enter our data here into column A. And so our data are 74, 87, 36, 97, 60, and 58. Alright, now that we have all of our data entered in over here, we're going to come up to the top, we're going to choose Data, and we're going to go all the way over here to the side to the Data Analysis. Now, if you don't have Data Analysis on Excel, we'll have to install the tool pack. Alright, inside the Data Analysis, we're going to highlight Descriptive Statistics, and click OK. Alright, and then we want to highlight the rows that our data is contained in. This is done for me right here. Alright, and before we click OK, we want to make sure that we check the Summary Statistics box. Alright, and when we do, it pops up with all this information here. Now, all we were interested in was the mean and the median for this particular problem, and that is right here at line 3 and line 5. And that's how to find the mean and the median on Excel. Example 2. Compute the mean and the median for the following set of data. So again, I'm going to pull up the Excel spreadsheet and I'm going to enter in that data, and we are going to find the mean and the median using that data analysis. Alright, so I have my data in over here in column A. I'm going to the Data tab up here. We're going all the way across to Data Analysis. We want Descriptive Statistics. Alright, my column A over there is highlighted with all my data in there. The Summary Statistics box is checked. OK. And the mean for this set of data is located, I do not want to do that, right here. And right here. Example 3. Someone surveys the families in a certain town and reports that the mean number of children in a family is 2.1. Someone else says that this must be wrong because it's impossible for a family to have 2.1 children. Comment. Well, if you're doing the average, you can say 2.1, and the average just means, well, what it sounds like is the average. Some people will have 2 children, some people will have 3 children. You know, some people will have more than that, some people will have less than that. But if you add up all the children, let's say in a community, and then divide by the number of families, you will come up with the mean. Now, it's true, you can't have 0.1 children. But, I mean, everybody has whole children. So, speaking as an average, this makes sense, but speaking realistically, you can't have less than a whole child. Example 4. A data set has a mean of 6 and a median of 4. Would you expect this data to be skewed to the right or skewed to the left? Okay. If we draw a picture of this, alright, now remember the median is right here in the very middle of your data set. And if your mean is 6 and the median is 4, that's going to put your mean over here on this side to the right. Now, the mean will always follow your data, and what that means is we may have 10 data points over here on this side, and we may have 10 data points over here on this side, but these may be higher than what's going on over here, which is going to pull the mean that way. So if the mean is pulled to the right of the median, then your data is going to be skewed to the right. Alright, so your data will be skewed toward the mean in relationship to the median. Example 5. A data set has a mean of 5 and a median of 7. Would you expect this data to be skewed to the right or to the left? Well, again, let's take a look at the picture. Right. We have our data set that's been graphed, and we put the median right here exactly in the middle of the data. And we know that median is 7. Now the mean is 5, so that means it's going to fall over here on this side of the median. Remember what I said, the mean follows the data, so if the mean is going in that direction from the median, then this data will be skewed to the left. Alright, example 6. Find the mode or modes if they exist for the following data sets. And I will pull up the Excel spreadsheet, and we can do exactly the same thing we did to try and find the mean and the median. And there's also a space in there for Excel to tell us what the mode is. Alright, here is the data from part A. We'll come over here to the data, do our data analysis, descriptive statistics. We need to change this though. We want to actually include all of that. Alright, summary statistics. Okay, and the mode has been given to us right here to be 1. Now remember, the mode is the one that happens the most often in the data set. And here is the data for part B. So we'll go into our data analysis, descriptive statistics, and we're going to have to change the range again. Okay, summary statistics, and there we go. And it tells us, in this case, that the mode is 4. Alright, this is a problem for this particular set of data, because if we go back and take a look at our data, we'll notice that I have a 4 and a 4, so I have 2 4s, but I also have 2 6s, which means that this particular set of data has 2 modes, and Excel is only delivering us the 1 mode. So we're going to have to keep a lookout for that if we try and do the mean, median, and the mode in Excel. I'm guessing that it gives us 4 as the mode because 4 is the first one that repeats, but I don't know for sure. Alright, and here is the data from part C. We'll go over here and do the data analysis on this one, trying to find out what the mode of this particular data set is. And Excel has returned an NA value, and NA means that this particular set of data doesn't have a mode, and what that means is none of the data values repeat. So there is actually no mode for part C. Example 7, use the given frequency distribution to approximate the mean. Alright, so I'm going to pull up an Excel spreadsheet because it's going to look a little bit nicer to have this separated out into its columns. And I'm going to put this frequency distribution into a spreadsheet. Alright, and here it is. Okay, first thing we want to do is we're going to start a new column here, and this is going to be the midpoint. And what we're trying to do is we're going to find the midpoint of the class. Alright, to find the midpoint of the class, what we're going to do is we're going to find the average of the lower class limit and then the next lower class limit. So I'm looking for the average between, in this case, 10 and 0. Alright, so my formula is going to be 10 plus 0 divided by 2, and that's going to give me 5. Alright, to find the midpoint for this one, we're looking for the average between 20 and 10. Alright, so my formula is going to be the average of 20 plus 10 and then divided by 2. Okay, and now I'm going to do the average of 30 and 20. And this next one is going to be the average between 40 and 30. And then this last one is going to be the average between 40 and what would the next lower class limit have been, and that would have been 50. And there are all my midpoints. Alright, and you should see the little pattern here among all the midpoints. Alright, in our last column, we are actually going to multiply the midpoints by each of the frequencies here. Okay, so I am going to be multiplying the cell that is C3 times the cell that is D3, and that's going to give me a total of 65. Alright, now to keep myself from having to keep redoing this particular formula, I'm actually going to copy this box, and I'm not going to use any dollar signs this time because I do want to use the different cells over here, and I do want to use the different cells here. I don't want to have one of them used every single time. So all I'm going to have to do is just click on the corner here and drag it down, and it actually does give me all of the different midpoint times frequency values. Okay. Alright, now we've got to put a couple of totals in here because in order to find the mean of something, remember, you're supposed to total up all the values that you have. That's going to be right here, and divide it by the total number of data points that there are, and that's going to be right here. So we're going to tell Excel to add these columns right here for us. And as you can see, that gives us a total of 50 right here. And then I'm also going to do the same thing here. I'm going to tell Excel to add all of these right here so we can get a total of all of our midpoint times frequencies. So we're going to equal sum, and we've got E3, and we want to add all the way to E7. And that's going to give us our total right there. Alright, and then finally, to find the approximate mean, I need to tell Excel to take my total right here, the midpoint times the frequency, and divide it by the total number of frequencies here. So let's go. Alright. Alright, so right here, I'm going to tell Excel we want it to take E8 and divide it by C8. And there's our approximate mean, 24.6.